So what is self-isolation? Self-isolation is what we are asking people who could potentially have been exposed to the virus to do to limit the possibility of spreading the virus on to others. Now, self-isolation really means staying at home and limiting your contact with other people. And that means you can't go to school, you can't go to work, you mustn't use public transport, and you shouldn't be going to any crowded places like shopping malls or cinemas or concerts or parties. You really need to stay at home and keep to yourself. There are a number of other criteria that you should be paying attention to within the home to prevent spread to other people. And of course, exactly how you implement this will depend on what is feasible within your home. But what we ask is, if your house is big enough and it is possible, then you should really try to stay in a separate room from everybody else and try to sleep separately from others. If it's not possible to stay in a separate room, then really the critical distance to try and keep, if it's possible, is a 1 meter distance away from other people. And the reason why 1 meter is so important is because this virus is spread through the large droplets that we release when we cough and sneeze, and these can travel for 1 meter. So as much as possible, stay 1 meter away from other people and limit your contact with other people in the home. If you're coughing and sneezing or ill, then it's very important to practice proper cough and sneeze hygiene, to sneeze and cough into your elbow and dispose of your tissues yourself and very carefully. It's very important to wash your hands regularly. And if you are coughing and sneezing and you do have a surgical mask, then you could wear a mask, which could be helpful to catch the droplets that you are coughing and sneezing out. Although importantly, the other healthy people in the house don't need to wear masks. It's really just for the person who's sick to try and stop the onward spread of the virus. I think people often worry, what about the other people who are in your home? And the idea of self-isolation is really to try and minimize the chance of onward spread to the general population, and as much as possible and is feasible also to the people in your house. So the people who are living with you, they can really continue with their normal activities, because as long as you are self-isolating at home and they are well, they're not really at risk of transmitting on. But remember, should you become a case and actually be infected with the virus, then certainly all the people who live in your house would immediately have to start self-isolating and stop interacting with people. But as long as you are actually not sick with coronavirus infection, there's not really a risk that the other people in your house can transmit the virus on. And that's why they don't need to limit their movement.
If you develop symptoms of respiratory illness, including a cough, fever, and shortness of breath, you must seek medical care early. It's important to call your doctor first, self-isolate, and advise on your travel and contact history. If you would like to know more on anything relating to COVID-19, call the General Public Hotline at the National Institute of Communicable Diseases on 0800 029 999, as well as 0800 111 132, or log on to www.nicd.ac.za.